The Boston Bruins fall to the Vegas Golden Knights 4-3 in a shootout here at TD Garden on Monday night. I'm Conor Ryan of BostonSportsJournal.com, here to give you a few takeaways from tonight's game. And if you're the Bruins, well, had to end eventually, right? Bruins entered tonight's game 14-0 at TD Garden. One of these days, their luck was going to run out, and you can give credit to the Bruins. You can find that silver lining if you want to, in terms of, yes, Bruins were down 3-0, were terrible to start this game. Just looked like weren't in sync, were making, self-inflicted miscues, weren't hitting their passes. It was just everything just seemed off for this team early on. You had Pastrnak had that awful giveaway, that turnover that led to Marchessault's goal. Just seemed like it wasn't going to be their night, which again, it's hockey. It happens. This team was, you could, say they were due for a stinker in one of these games. And against a team like Vegas, who, yes, they don't have Jack Eichel, but had a lot of momentum going into this game, a lot of juice with Bruce Cassidy's return. Still a very, very good team, a structured team. Could have just chalked it up to that. If this game ended 4-1 in favor of Vegas, you would have, again, disappointing because the Bruins have been rolling right along, but it happens, and it's a good team you matched up again. So you can get the silver lining. The Bruins fought back, right? Marchand gets the goal. You have a situation, Pastrnak scores that key goal late in the second, give you a bit of momentum, and then Taylor Hall ties things up. And, I mean, let's face it, the Bruins very well could have come away with 2 points in this game, not just either in overtime, but especially over those last couple minutes of the third period. Had a lot of quality chances, had some good chances off the rush, bringing the puck down to that grade A ice where they've scored a lot of these goals. But I think this is one of those games too where you have to kind of tip your cap to a goalie that was locked in, and Logan Thompson, who has been really good all year for Vegas, really bailed his team out in this one. I think he ended up with 40 saves. Vegas kind of stepped back a little bit as the game started slipping away from them, and Thompson kind of kept them in this one, especially once you get to overtime. Anytime you have an overtime where you've got a power play and you've got guys like Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, Krejci out there, to escape with especially 2 points is pretty impressive if you're Vegas. So if you're the Bruins, you can look at it as a tough loss or a one you wish you had back. And yes, if they started probably on time, or if they controlled more of the play beyond that really poor first 30 minutes of the game, could have been a different result. But still, you can draw some positives out of the way the Bruins responded in this game. There were stretches there where they looked like the usual dominant Bruins that we've seen for most of this season. But still, I think when you look at the main storyline from this one, it has to be Bruce Cassidy and his return. We spoke to him post game, clearly very emotional. This is a guy that, even though he's, said he's moved on and he's focused on this current team, which is at the top of the Western Conference, and they're rolling right along despite some injuries right now. This is still a guy who was in this organization for 14 years, grew up a Bruins fan up in Ottawa. Still means a great deal to him. Still said all the right things, but as expected, a guy who was let go in the manner that he was last year. Very happy to, I think, deal his former team its first loss on home ice, and it's something where you hope that, as tough as that kind of whole situation panned out, you hope that both parties kind of benefit in the long run from this. Obviously, you look at the Bruins and the way they've responded on Jim Montgomery. It's been very successful so far, whether it's his messaging, his tweaks to the system, which I think it doesn't get the same spotlight as, his ability to communicate to players and what have you. But I think Montgomery's system tweaks and how he's focused on grade A chances, stuff like that, has really, really helped out this team. The way they move in transition, the way they activate their defense, that stuff has really made a sizable impact. But you can make the same argument for how Cassidy's been so far with Vegas. I mean, that's a team that was really loose defensively last year. He's really kind of built that into the bedrock of how they want to be successful this year. Even say, for all the talk about Cassidy not developing young guys, Logan Thompson's a guy that I think only played in 18 games going into this season, and he's been as steady as ever so far for them so far. So this is a situation where both teams benefit from this split. And again, you can go down the rabbit hole if you want in terms of how justified Cassidy's dismissal was in the first place. But if both these teams under these new respective first-year head coaches can keep on piling on points and keep on, achieving success, make for a pretty interesting playoff meeting, I would say. So again, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but this was a game here tonight at TD Garden where it went from looked like a laugher, looked like a snoozer if you're a Bruins fan, to a really riveting back and forth matchup between two of the top teams in the NHL. So they'll be back at it again next week down in Vegas, but hopefully we'll have a few more matches between these two teams in the coming months. So of course, we'll have all the breakdowns, more reaction from tonight's game over at bostonsportsjournal.com. So please follow over there as well. Thanks, guys.